A great gritty game by Dallas. Going into I had flipped that backwards. Derek Jones had a great second half. At the end of the first half, Oklahoma City had the lead 64-48. And a big reason to that is Luka had 5 turnovers in the first half, and as a team they had 12. They just weren't taking care of the ball. Oklahoma City was able to get out. Shea had 21 of his 36 in the first half, and you had 9 from Dort, Williams, and Holmgren. Just getting out on the break and attacking and being aggressive, right? They were really able to take advantage of that. And in the second half, you saw a much different story. They only had 6 turnovers. Oklahoma City only had 5. But then you got a player like Derek Jones who goes 4 of 4 from 3, 6 of 8 from the field for 16 points. Kyrie Irving was just getting buckets. He had 18 in the second half, went 7 of 18 from the field, 4 of 9. Really turned his game around in the second half. And finally had a breakout game that we've been looking for from him, right? And in the end, the Mavericks made plays. They've been living off of those alley-oops all game. Anytime someone attacks the basket, Gafford or Lively are always there for alley-oop dunks. Derek Jones Jr. is always there for alley-oop dunks. Or you have PJ Washington in the corner hitting threes, and they've just been a really, really dangerous combination, right? I've been going on and on about how this team has really relied on Luka and Kyrie, and in this series, the other guys have really stepped up. PJ Washington had a ton of really good games. Derek Jones Jr. has had some really, really good games as well too. Guys have just been stepping up for them, and they hit some really, really big shots in the end. But to go back to, let me see this right here. This was such a huge moment. It was clearly a foul. It was clearly a foul. And this is the thing about sports, right? This is the funny thing about sports. Shea had an unbelievable game. An unbelievable series, right? Like, it wasn't a 40-point performance like we've seen Brunson have, or a 50-point game like we saw Embiid had. But there was a stretch where, Williams, Chet, a couple guys on OKC were hitting shots, but Dallas was going on a run in the fourth quarter, and it had to have been 3, maybe 4 possessions back to back. I think 3 where Shea came down and hit a shot to answer every single one of those buckets from them. And it just so happens that he makes a mistake, right? In the play, he had already, let me see if we can, let's see if we can slow this down.
Gives it up.
Look, he contested right here. He already put his hand back. And I guess he thought he'd be able to get a clear block. He thought PJ Washington would go into his regular shot, but PJ pumped it. And Shea, it's split moments, right? Split second decisions, put his hand back out there and got the foul. And he said he would have liked to have that back. I think he could live with him either making or missing that shot. That's the reality of it, right? He can live with him making or missing that shot. But now he made the mistake one, and now you're left to wonder, right? You start wondering, would he have made that shot or not, rather than seeing it play out. If he makes that shot, you shake his hand, you call great game. But at the same time, at least it wasn't Luka or Kyrie Irving making the shot. You forced someone else to make a play on their team. And unfortunately, despite all of the great plays Shea had been making up until that point, he just had a lapse in judgment and made a mistake. And it happens sometimes. It happens to the best players, right? I've been going on and on about how he should have been the MVP. He's been so consistent, whether they're winning or losing. It just felt like they were always in the game because of him. When you watch the games, it didn't matter who was going off for Dallas. It didn't matter if Luka was having a good game or a bad game. You can look on the other side, and the guy on the other side that was still aggressive, consistent, and having solid to great games was always Shea. And even in the games where they had given up big leads, they would always chip away at it, and he was the real leader for that. So a phenomenal series from Oklahoma City, a huge learning experience from a team that's been in the playoffs, right? They were just in the Western Conference Finals 2 years ago. Kyrie has proven in the playoffs. Luka has been very strong in the playoffs, and they just fell short. I thought that they were going to push the series to a game 7 for that first half, and for a good bit of that end. It felt like Oklahoma City had it in the bag, but Luka and Kyrie did a great job of trusting their teammates, and that's gonna be a theme today. They just did a great job of trusting their teammates, trusting what these guys have put in to hit big shots and put them in positions to hit big shots. And they just fell a little bit short. It was nice to see Kyrie come out and be aggressive. We haven't seen that from him too often in terms of putting up shots, right? He's still been aggressive, attacking the rim, trying to get other plays. That's why he's had so many assists in some of these games. But it's been really important for him to, I hate to say it, to take some bad shots and look for his rhythm. It's just the reality of being a star player and being a scorer. Yeah, you could question some of them, but there are some that he needs to take. And as a player that wasn't shooting so often, he needed to take some shots, right? He was able to take some of those in the end of the shot clock, some fallaways, fadeaways. Some of them went his way that night, and because of it, they're moving on. So congratulations to both teams. Both teams were incredible. We had a great series, and honestly, at the end of the day, regardless of which team you're a fan of, and this goes for the entire playoffs so far, the fans are really the ones that have been getting treated. The series have been fun. They've been back and forth. We got a couple of 4-0s in the last series, but it's, it happens, right? Some of those lesser teams have been knocked out, and we got some really great series out of these teams in the second round, which, like I said, it's just a win for the fans at the end of the day, right? We're getting great basketball. We're getting physical basketball. It's playoff basketball. And yeah, it's just little details here and there. And this really could have gone the other way for Dallas. Yeah. And it could have gone to OKC. PJ misses that shot. Look, there's 2.5 seconds left. He misses that shot. Get a rebound. That person's going to try to put it back up. But if they come down with it, you have under a second to put up a quick shot again. Chances are Dallas loses that game if PJ just straight up misses that shot. And on the other side, if he does make that shot, then OKC loses anyway. So it's just, what a series.